Thank you. So I think we'll do the book signing, Rafael and I, wherever we can do
What do we
that.
purchase?
We'll just put it up here, and those of you who don't want to buy the book, you can put it right back. And then after we've done that, we'll have a Q&A. Or would you rather do it the other way, just stay where you are? Okay. In that case, I have to bring Rafael up here.
Why can't everybody move their chair and look this way?
Because,
I'm looking at you.
okay. No, I think it'd be good if you could
Can
come
I
up.
sit?
You want to sit?
In front?
Everybody will have to turn around. Come on. Sit up here.
Be in front
Yeah,
of
you can sit. You can sit. We have a chair right up here. Please do.
Come on up.
Ma non parli italiano?
No,
Spagnolo?
Spagnolo y francés.
Ben, you can. Ben. Let's see if you can go with his work.
Do you have a blackboard?
I don't have a blackboard. Do I see? I was a teacher for 30 years.
Can't talk words.
Okay. So this is Rafael Buñuel, the artist who did. He is an amusing, delightful person, but he is kind of private. He has 2 lovely children and an ex-wife. And yes, he's the son of Luis Buñuel. But he also is the son of a wonderful mother who wrote a great book about him, and he taught Rafael cooking. So one thing I'd ask you is, please, for fuck's sake, don't ask him about his father.
Okay,
So-
you can sign here.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So why don't we just have questions first while you have the books in your hand. Anyone who has any questions for me or for Rafael, Paula?
I have a question for you, Rafael. How long does it take you to do did it take you on the artist to do each sketch? Because there's so many little lines.
That's not a problem. The biggest problem is finding a concept. And most of the concepts I find is I started years ago. I finished talking to somebody on the phone for 10 minutes, and I filled a page with doodles. And then maybe like 20 years ago, I said, oh, this doodle's kind of interesting. And then so I don't know how to draw. So I do it in pencil, and then I erase. I do it again. I make it smaller, bigger. I erase, and finally I put the ink in. But it's something that I find a lot of them in my doodles.
Potentially it could take 20 years to do one.
But normally, for example, once I have the concept, and it depends. Some are very simple, but 2 or 3 hours for a little bit more complicated one.
Hi, are those integral prints?
Pardon me?
Are they integral prints? What
Intaglio.
integral prints?
No,
What
I
kind
don't.
of prints?
I don't know anything about technique.
They're etching.
Hmm?
These are etchings.
These are etchings,
Where do you have them
and
printed?
the other one in the book they're drawings.
And where do you have them printed?
Gary Eisenberg.
Gary Eisenberg. He brought these. He might come later on to pick them up.
And are you there during the printing process to make sure the look and...
Yeah, and we work together very well. So he has ideas, I have ideas, and we work something out. So.
And his press is in your garage.
And his president. So I know he's not unfaithful to that.
So come on, let's come up with some ideas here.
Next.
I have a question. Were you always inclined to do artwork like this ever since you were a young boy, or did it come later?
One thing I say is I graduated from UCLA. The year before I graduated, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was forced to take a playwriting course. And for the next 25 years, I was a playwright. While I was a playwright in New York, and at one point I had a small off Broadway theater, and I'd be okay now write, and the typewriter, and there was a piece of wood and a knife, and I'd start carving. Rafael, stop it! And I'd throw it in the garbage. Oh no, you have to write. This is a waste of time. Then I'd do a piece of clay, and I'd start doing. So what I say is, there's a sculptor in me that wanted to come out. And then finally, when I first came to LA, the sculptor came out, and I still have some pieces of at home that were my first sculptures, and I said, oh, it's not bad. And then a year or two later, a friend said, oh, why don't you have a show? What? No, this is just the thing. No, you should think of having a show someday. And then how do you say a person that draws is a drawer?
Drawer.
The drawer finally, a few years later, was opened and I came out.
Thank you.
Laurel?
How did you meet Ben?
One of the caballeros introduced us.
Caballeros.
Actually, it was my wife. My wife was totally responsible for it because I had a play at that time, the Hemingway Dos Passos Tours, that was running at the Hollywood Court Theater, and Annabelle and Rafael came, and she said to them, you know, I think my husband would really like to meet you both.
No, but I think you knew Anibal first.
No,
No?
I met you first.
Huh?
I met you first.
Yeah, no, you, but
Yeah.
who?
Oh no, I met.
But you knew
Annabelle met me,
Yes.
because I was selling the tickets. That always worked. And he said, well, who wrote this play? And I said, well, as a matter of fact, my husband wrote it. And he said, well, can we talk to him?
Yeah.
So I introduced Annabelle to Ben.
So you introduced us
Yes.
Yeah.
at both at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working in that place
Yeah.
for years, and I found the theater over there, and I was interested in the theater, and I saw Hola there, and I said, oh, I'd like to know what he's doing, and say,
Exactly right.
and I think I asked you, can I bring a friend? And you say, yeah, and I told you who was the friend. I said, oh yeah, my husband would like to meet him.
Okay, so I should mention one other thing that might help you with your questions. Yeah, we have plenty of time. Raphael's tradition is really tripartite. He was born in New York. In fact, we were born 10 miles apart and 10 days apart, or 20 days.
I'm older than he is.
But his father was persecuted by people like Dali, who called him a communist, and he ended up going to Mexico, where Raphael basically was raised, but he was born an American citizen in his country. And of course, he has his Spanish background, and his mother was from France. In fact, she won an Olympic medal in swimming.
No,
So-
in rhythmic gymnastics.
Oh, okay.
1924
No.
in Paris.
Same thing. Okay. Tamar?
I'm just fascinated with your work because, from what I gather, you never went to art school.
No, I should have.
Self-educated, it's so sophisticated.
Yeah.
I wonder if you had
If I had to do it again, I would go.
Really?
Because sometimes, you know, I've
Never
been, especially like in the sculptures, I've been working on something and then I found out 3 years later, oh, why didn't I use a different technique? Why didn't I get better tools? Why didn't, like I do alabaster, and it was an accident that I saw somebody carving on marble. And, oh, well, that's it. No, but alabaster is a lot softer. You can use wood tools.
Sure.
You know, rasp and chisels and for wood, and but if I had taken a few classes, I would have learned that technique and many other ones that I still don't know.
Well, it's amazing.
It's too late to
It's
find.
amazing that you could do all this self-taught,
no,
because it's very sophisticated.
The sense of humor is fantastic too.
Yeah.
Tragicomic.
It's like a team of comedy.
Maybe you should take photographs of your sculptures and write poems for them.
Well, I did do one. There is one poem that I read about his sculpture, and actually it's from the piece that I bought from Raphael. His sculpture does very well. It sells pretty
Good to
fast.
see it. You have a
Yeah.
book of photographs.
You're right.
You're right.
No.
That's a very good suggestion.
Because I have that Gary Eisenberg, the one that does the etchings with me. We have a website in which all my etchings are there, which also I brought in the portfolio. If people want to look at it.
What tools do you use
Pardon me?
for your etchings? What kind of tools? Is that in
Whatever
wood?
comes up.
Is it carving in wood?
Pardon me?
Do you carve in wood?
No, the etching process I don't know at all. I work with Gary,
Oh,
the one that does the engraving and all that.
he does it.
And he does all of it. I don't know. I don't even know the terms, or he says, what do you want, what he can do, and then he suggests things. I look at it, I ask him. But he does all the technical
You might be good at that because you like carving.
I don't like the techniques. I don't like the computer. I don't like, it's too complicated. I don't like and the etching is pretty complicated also, the pressure that you do on the paper, how much ink do you have to do, you have to clean,
What's your process? Do you carry a sketchbook around with you that you just get inspired, or do you just
The which?
What's your process? Do you carry a sketchbook with you and you just sketch whenever, or are you very process oriented where you sit down and do this
No, sit
from
down.
10 to 12?
Sit
You
down.
have like your time to do this.
I have to be sitting down, maybe listen to the radio or something, and then doodle. What I can do sometimes, if I go to the museum or something, I see, I like that idea, and then when I go home, I draw it out, and then I think it's really interesting that I develop it. So, but I don't carry, because none of the things. When I say that they're not drawings, they're concepts. If you think of each one is a concept, so I remember the concept and the technique. I don't know how to draw, so but I like the reasons I continue drawing is I like my concepts. I think are fun and I like them. So I remember the concept, so that's easy. So I don't need a sketchbook to, a painter or somebody else might have to. You have to remember the lines and all that. I remember the concept only.
Could you tell us, Rafael, what drove you out of New York City?
Fear?
Tell us the story of why you left.
Well, fear.
Yeah, but tell us the story about the 10-year-old kids.
Oh. I had been there like 11, 12 years. I got there in '63. And little by little, the danger in New York City was rising. My apartment was robbed twice. My theater was robbed once. All my friends were leaving the city. And then towards the end, I was going home with my fiancée and 3 little cute black kids. One pistol, 2 knives. One pistol in front and one of the black kids in back of her and back of me. And my wife, at the time being French, she didn't think of danger. Oh, look at these kids, time to go home. And in French I said, shut up, they killed their mother. Do whatever they tell you. You want my watch, here's my watch. You want my wallet, here's my wallet.
You want my wife?
Any other questions? Oh, Joseph, how are you? Okay, one more question. Anyone? Come on, come up with something.
I only brought cash. How do I buy this book?
Don't worry about it. Okay, so anyway, Joanne, you don't have a question for Rafael? Bill?
Can't think of anything. I have a question, Ben. I have a question. When you did something like this one, which is a very distinct image, did you have an idea in your mind of the story, any story that went with it?
No.
Just the concept.
Yeah. And the other thing that people sometimes would do, for example, maybe Ben would say, "Oh, here's my poem. Do a drawing." I can't do it. I can't. Another friend sometimes, I'm doing a play, and do you have? And then, for example, Anibal directed a play of mine, and he said, "Why don't you do the little poster in it?" And he gave me the idea. I said, "Oh, okay." And I had written the play. I knew the play perfectly. I knew that, but he had to give me. So it's strange how the brain works. I can't do it. Okay, do posters to film? No, because I have no ideas. So either they come or by doodling or so.
Okay, well, I'll ask the final question, and I don't know the answer. So, What's the difference between drawing and sculpture, and why did you finally give up sculpture?
Probably being lazy. Some of, for example, if you're working on an alabaster, like, well, this is the one that was the straw that broke the camel's back. It was a piece of alabaster. It was about this. It was maybe 80 pounds when I started, and I had to take a lot away. So after a month, and I didn't like how it was going, but I said, no, but I have to finish it. So I'm going, it was down to like 45 pounds. It was the shape of a woman, and I took, and the head fell off.
Okay, last chance. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, we're going to do a book signing, and you can give the money to Brian. Okay?
Thank you.
And Tim, okay, so I think we can, Brian, where would you like us to sign? Is this good enough, or?
I think it's great. Yeah, there.
Okay. Yeah, sure, absolutely, Carol.
I go first?
Yeah.
Look at the lineup for books. Wow. Was a long way up, I know that.
600 miles. I think he's a great writer.
So what do you do?
Well, the choices are, so Harold
Are they procured?
Would you please sign my book? Rafael, would you please sign my book?
Yeah, you sign it first.
Thank you very much.
For Timothy Bob.
Whatever you want to sign.
So great, you guys.
Thank you.
I hope I lived up to your expectations.
it was great.
Tricky to write my number. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. I'll keep this forever. Would you please sign?
Yeah.
People you know that made up very well.
Mi casa tengo 40.
I can't tell you how our world has changed since you guys changed it. It's not been the same.
Dile que nada más quieres comprar esto.
100%
Eso no
better.
creo que lo
A
tengo.
lot.
No sé.
A lot. Tonight
No,
was
pero eso
so
no.
great. I couldn't